Welcome. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate all of your support. We are going to burst some more narrative bubbles when it comes to Caitlin Clark and her defense. Quick favor before we get started. Y'all know the drill by now. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps out tremendously. If you already did subscribe, please make sure you still are, because YouTube may have been sneaky and unsubscribed you. So let's dig in. Now, we see this is something that's happening a lot now, and let's get into why. Right, it says here, if it's felt like teams have been really locked in to attack Caitlin Clark 1v1 this year, it's because they have. Total isolations defended so far per second spectrum. Caitlin Clark first with 42, Olivia Miles with 19, Pauline Astier and Duana Bonner with 18. And oh, by the way, number 5 is also Kelsey Mitchell with 17. So the Indiana Fever guards, the starting guards, have been isolated 59 times this season. And I want to make sure we understand this. This is not specifically about, oh, Caitlin Clark's a terrible defender, we want to exploit that. And by the way, I'm going to burst that bubble here in a minute. It is Stephanie White's defense is switch on everything, as I showed in a previous video breaking down film. So teams are getting mismatches whenever they want. That's what it's about. Quicker player, they can get a quicker player to go at Caitlin Clark. They can get a bigger player. They do it to Kelsey Mitchell as well. And it's all about getting mismatches. And in addition, with the lie of the freedom of movement thing, because Caitlin Clark isn't getting any of those calls, but they're using it to call anything and everything on Caitlin Clark and put her in foul trouble early. And all of it is happening. All of it is made possible by Stephanie White's absolutely incompetent defensive schemes. That is what it all boils down to. It is 100%. All of this that you're seeing with defense and foul trouble and all that is 100% on Stephanie White. So anyone screaming about, oh, it's because Caitlin Clark's a terrible defender and she's got to work on that, they're either, one, have no idea what they're talking about. I've never watched basketball. Two, they're just flat out lying because they hate Caitlin Clark. Or three, they're an influencer who has flipped the script because they're now getting checks from the Fever. So they're all in on simping for the Fever and Stephanie White and going after and attacking Caitlin Clark and her fans. But they're not basketball people. Basketball people aren't doing this. And oh, by the way, let's just check this out. CCFC new season. Shout out to you. Worst defenders in the W. Gee, look, Kelsey Plum. Let me see if I can get. Is this bigger? No, we can see the whole thing. Here's the top 10. Lowest total defensive net points. Now, again, to be fair, I always say there's context with everything. Like, this isn't necessarily the be all end all statistic. Okay. You know me, I'm much more about watching players. I need to watch players to truly know what is going on, but statistics can be helpful in context. And we want to talk about Caitlin Clark's defense all the time. Well, here are the top 10 worst defenders in negative net points. Caitlin Clark is not on the list. Kelsey Plum, people are talking about MVP. Well, she's the worst. Some other big names, right? Hamby's second, Ray Burrell's third. Hey, look who's number 5, by the way, because I don't hear anybody yapping about how unbelievably bad Kelsey Mitchell is as a defender. She actually is one of the worst defenders in the league. And I'm not sure her offense makes up for it. But she is number 5, by the way. Caitlin Clark is not on this list. But all we're hearing about is how bad a defender Caitlin Clark is. Again, narratives versus reality. Very, very different things, especially when it comes to the WNBA. Now, let's take a look. This is the last game, okay? Where we got these numbers. Offensive net, defensive net, total net. Defensive net, the only player in that game better than Caitlin Clark was the very few minutes that Grace Van Sluten got at minus 0.4. Caitlin was minus 0.5. Aaliyah Boston was horrifically bad at minus 6.2. Oh, and second worst, Kelsey Mitchell at minus 2.7. So despite the fact that the defensive system is set up to destroy Caitlin Clark, Stephanie White, she still hangs tough despite having to face so many more opportunities. And she's actually been one of the better defenders on the Indiana Fever all season long. Again, narrative versus reality. Two very, very different things. Oh, And let's just look at this since we're doing it. Let's look at the net points for 2026 so far. And by the way, Olivia Miles being up there at number 2 is a great example. And I'm sorry, I don't have a whoops, I almost forgot to I don't have film. I'm trying to get someone to break that down, but Cheryl Reeve does not allow Olivia Miles to be out on an island the way Stephanie White does with Caitlin Clark. And you should be not doing it for multiple reasons. One, you don't want her in foul trouble. Two, you don't want it to wear her out. So her offense is less effective. It's not even, again, it's not about whether she's a good defender or not. Here's the thing. Is Caitlin Clark an all WNBA defensive team defender? No. Is she an above average defender, which more is more than enough for the offense that she produces? 100%. Any conversation about her defense is narrative. It's narrative. It's 100% narrative. By the way, Caitlin is at 14. She's only -2 for defense, right? -2 for defense. She's plus 18 overall, sitting at 14. Oh, and by the way, let me just double check. That puts her first for the Indiana Fever, despite some abysmal games, despite being stuck out an island defensively and being screwed by her own coach and her teammates who fail in rotations every single time. She is still number 1 for the Indiana Fever when it comes to plus with net points in offense and defense. You want to look at some other players? That's a good idea. I got it set up here to at least get down to the very next Indiana Fever is Aaliyah Boston all the way down at 32. Sophie Cunningham all the way down at 37. Again, Caitlin Clark at 14 with a positive number. And then we got to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. We'll get there. So we have Caitlin at 14. Aaliyah's all the way down at 32. Sophie's at 37. And we're going to keep going. Grace Van Sluten's at 62. She's next. Well, we can't even really count that because she barely plays. Hey, look where Kelsey Mitchell is, 65. She's barely in positive range, which is like I keep saying, her offense, as good as it is at times, is still not enough because her defense is so unbelievably bad. Plus, when you add in the fact that she doesn't get rebounds, she doesn't get assists, her offense has a negative impact on the team unless she's shooting like 75% in a game where, she basically can't miss. Misha Hines Allen is right behind her at 67. And then we got to keep going and keep going and keep going. Hey, you know who's not in here yet? Lexi Hull. Good thing she got that 2-year guaranteed for more money than the 1-year contract that Sophie Cunningham got, right? There she is all the way down at 85. By the way, her -2 is the same as Caitlin Clark's. But as we know, Caitlin Clark, just a little more effective on the offensive end. I mean, it's insane how Monique Billings all the way down at 102, right? We're not even, are we even through half the team? Damiris Dantas all the way down at 112. I mean, folks, this is, and don't forget Stephanie White. It's her specialty, right? She's a defensive specialist. That's sad to see Temi all the way down at 134. Da 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 da. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. Maybe I missed some, but yeah. I mean, so anyway, as you can see with a lot of these, it's pretty bad all the way around. There's Taisha Harris all the way down at 168. Raven Johnson, 173. By the way, we're about near the end of the league. Hey, look at Angel Reese, 182. Not many more players after that. Erica Wheeler, 186. Wow, that's embarrassing. But anyway, yeah. So that's the entire list right there with the Indiana Fever. Now, one last thing I want to show you to wrap this up, so we can go to the tape. Check out some of these calls. Okay, I think this is the one. Yeah, that's where they didn't call it, I think. But yeah, so they again, they do not call this. Oh, I'm sorry, they did, right? They called, yeah, sorry, I got that. They called a foul on Caitlin Clark on this, right? She's going backwards, push off with the arm, doesn't touch her on the shot, but they'll call a foul on Caitlin Clark. But Caitlin Clark doesn't get a call there, right? I'm just saying, doesn't touch her. Call on Caitlin Clark. No call there. No call. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Again, for freedom of movement, right? Like you're it's a lot of contact going on there. Again, look, watch that. Called a foul on Caitlin Clark on that. Called a foul on Caitlin Clark on that. No contact at all. This is what we're dealing with the NBA. Anyway, the WNBA. Anyway, I just wanted to bring to your attention some of the things not being talked about when it comes to Caitlin Clark's defense, also not being talked about when it comes to the rest of the team, like Lexi Hull and I don't know, Kelsey Mitchell, who was one of the worst defenders in the WNBA. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, appreciate you checking out the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I will talk to you later.